Right, so this is in the mix number 6. I'm going to show you one thing I looked at when I was doing this. I was mixing a little bit of drums, and I came across, in the course, something called noise gate, and it's kind of like the opposite of compression. So compression takes all the sounds and makes them sort of even throughout the performance in terms of levels. And what the noise gate does is that it only lets the sound through after a certain parameter that you give it. So here I have isolated the bass drum track. I'm gonna play it. So there it is. So that's without the noise gate. You can hear some extra background noise there. So when I turn on the noise gate, it just puts the bass drum alone. So like that it sounds a little bit weird, but when I add the snare, and I added some noise gate also on the snare drum, let's hear the snare drum without the noise gate. So you can hear the hi-hat quite a lot. I've already got hi-hat here. So with the noise gate, kind of sounds a little bit like cut. But once you add the other things in, those gaps get filled. So you don't notice it anymore if you put the overhead on. So I added noise gates in this channel. Yeah. And that's what the drums are sounding like at the moment. I also created this new, I'm playing around with sub-mixes. So making one mix and then creating a mix for basically a bus that sends that mix to another channel, an auxiliary channel, and then I can continue mixing, adding different things to an existing mix already. So it's like sub-mixing. This is what I'm understanding a lot about this process of mixing is there's a lot of things to remember. Definitely a lot of comparing to do. This is already my fourth version since I started in the mix sessions. Although I know it's in the mix 6, but this is kind of like what I've chosen to be the fourth really alternative. Like it's starting to sound different. So going back to 3, 2, 1 is a process that requires time and a lot of listening. A lot of mixing around. So I created this through the subs. I created a track here called Drum Experiment. So in this track, I'm going to basically do parallel stuff to this track that's receiving all the drums. So this track is receiving all of these drums already mixed. So now I can add a little bit more body to those drums by adding this auxiliary channel in, gives it a little bit more dynamic. And then here I have a space designer and a multipressor, and it kind of gives the drums a different sound. So just listen to all the mix of the drums. Take this mix down a bit, and let's add this experiment. So you see how the sound, like it's in a room. I added some reverb, and the multipressor. This is the multipressor, that's what it looks like, and I have it doing some hard compression. Change that to some parameters. This is 3-band compressor. Giving me a different sound there. Without. And with. So it's kind of nice. I think all these tools that you put here on the side, like this drum experiment thing, it helps in the production stages, because you might want to have, for example, During a certain part of the song, you might want to have a little bit of this in there to give it some kind of this is giving this mix a little sense of space in the mix. So it's quite interesting how many things you can do through bussing the signal around, and really this is where you have to keep track of where your signal is going, because if you have any problem or you have to go back a few steps, just remember where buses are, what buses are. Really keep track of things. It's really important to be organized. Let's see, so what else have I done in this mix? Not much more. We had to come to a decision about the pianos and the guitars, because I think when they're all together, it sounds very muddled. It sounds like there's a lot, and it's a lot because of for example, the piano part here. I remember when Alejandra recorded this part, she was playing on the left hand, she was playing the bass notes in octaves, so that's a lot of bass sound. So I had to take the channel equalizer here, and I had to take bass down. I had to cut the bass because I had enough coming from the bass itself. So by doing that, I kind of balanced the two, and it sounds quite nice. So there's alternatives here. Like, let's listen to this last part, the end jam, which I'm calling the end jam. Let's listen to it with guitars, and then let's listen to it with the pianos and stuff. So I'm gonna mute the guitars, and I'm gonna leave the pianos for the end. Let's see what that sounds like. There it is. So this is just with piano. We have this melody. We have that little melody on the synth there. That's also a vocal line. It's kind of following this. So that's two elements kind of doing the same, we're kind of, do we want to have something else? Piano. That mix is quite nice, right? Three of them. This gets lost a little bit sometimes. Kind of gets lost in the mix a little bit. Could be fixed with an equalizer maybe. Remember that this is also sending bus. The synth piano also has some help here. Let's add the other vocals in. Mixing quite nice. Yeah, let's have a look again. I'm mixing with headphones at the moment, so it's not the ideal thing to do, but it's an idea. And then we can add, let's take those pianos away. Let's listen to it with guitars. More rocky, it's a little bit more punch. Now this guitar sound, some interesting things you can do with guitars and distortions and equalizers. Like, I added some equalizer, a compressor, and a pedal. So without the pedal, it's kind of clean. That's how it was recorded, with a little bit of distortion. This is what it sounds like without the compressor. And that's kind of like the natural state of the signal. This is also going to bus 3, which is here. I can give more signal to the mix here, although it's just one guitar. There we go. So yeah, so with the equalizer on, See, I give it a little bit of, I cut the basses quite a lot because I have the basses coming here anyway. Let's do it again. There we go, a little bit of rhythm problems there, guys. And then the distortion, what it does, it's a nice fun pedal. Logic comes with stuff, so I chose 3, and if you guys want to pick, this is 1. This is kind of vintage. Gives it a very distinct distortion sound. This is the second one, the Double Dragon. It's a bit more dirty, that distortion is a little bit more kind of crunchy. That one as well is quite a nice crunch to it. Vintages. Let's leave that there for the moment. So you see with guitars that section sounds very different when it's only guitars. Let's solo the voice. Actually, let's mute. It's easier if we just mute the keyboards out. Mute and mute. See, it's different. That's just with the voice. So decisions, guys, we have to make decisions about this. How are we going to produce this song? What things are we gonna have in certain sections? You see, this is the sections of the song. It starts with an introduction, which you already know, you've heard, and then I haven't marked the sections yet, but the build up, the very known build up that we all talk about, and then the end jam. Those are the 2 sort of sections that I am mixing. But I'm going kind of everywhere to see. So this is in the mix number 6.